Your story reminds me that we in the media rush past remembering her legacy because of the political crisis that it put in motion. And I wonder both if you could just speak to both of those challenges for you personally. Everything she believed in, and it's a lot of the same things you believe in and have championed, seems at risk with the mounting reality that Donald Trump will be able to confirm a justice to replace her.
But as everyone knows, she was tiny in physical stature, but monumental in her impact on the court. So when the word came that she had passed, it was devastating personally as well as officially. I never thought, shame on me, for hoping for the best, that the Republicans would, within a couple hours of the news of her passing, say when they were going to try to fill the seat. Notice I didn't say replace Justice Ginsburg. They're not going to replace Justice Ginsburg. But to fill that seat, you would have thought that any sense, one grain, one iota of decency would have had them to say, let us thank God for her as a blessing, even though we don't always agree with her. Let us and pay our respects to her family so that they can properly bid their farewell to her so that she can rest in peace. That's not what they had in mind. And I think the rush is all about the president wanting to overturn the Affordable Care Act. So we're saying to people, if you care about having the benefit of a pre-existing condition, understand that's what the president has in mind, overturning the pre-existing condition, taking your kids off your policy, your adult children who are there until they're 26. It's also about turning around the progress made for women's health. We're to a day when being a woman is a pre-existing medical condition. Medicaid, Medicare, all of it affected by the Affordable Care Act, and lifetime limits that affect people. They have to have a limit on what they're expected to pay. So it is about kitchen table issues for the American people. So if they want to open the discussion, let's tell everyone why. It's to overturn the Affordable Care Act and all the benefits that benefit the lives and livelihood of the American people. So sad. You know, oral arguments begin November 10th. Oral arguments begin November 10th. So they want to get somebody in there November 10th. Most unfortunate.
And in addition to turning the clock backward on reproductive freedoms and, as you said, overturning the Affordable Care Act, Donald Trump has made it a line in his rallies that he expects the courts to determine the outcome of the presidential election.
Well, you see, the president, again, as we know, is a master of diversion. He'll change the subject at any time. Right now, he is the subject of concern because he's been a total failure in addressing the coronavirus. As we cross that sad barrier of 200,000 people who have died because of it, we mourn the justice, that's for sure. She's 87 years old. She's lived a brilliant life. We would have loved her live to be over 100. But this is 200,000 other people, husbands, wives, parents, children, siblings, loved ones who have lost their loved one, and we have to mourn each and every one of those as well. And this president has been a total failure in protecting the health and well-being of the American people by his delay, his distortion, and his denial of the virus, but also ignoring the solutions that we have, in fact, in the HEROES Act, a comprehensive plan again and again for how to crush the virus. Instead, he wants to crush the Affordable Care Act in the courts in the time of a pandemic.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.